The second episode of Meghan Markle's Archetypes podcast dropped overnight, featuring a conversation with powerhouse singer Mariah Carey. The two of them spoke about being mixed race, with the Duchess claiming she was only treated like a black woman after she started dating Prince Harry.
And I think for us, it's so different because we're light-skinned. You're not treated as a black woman. You're not treated as a white woman. You sort of fit in between. I mean, if there's any time in my life that it's been more focused on my race, it's only once I started dating my husband. Then I started to understand what it was like to be treated like a black woman.
The podcast soared to the #1 spot on Spotify after just the very first episode, taking over US frontrunner, the Joe Rogan Experience in 6 countries. Sunrise Royal editor Rob Johnson joins us now. Jobbo, Meghan spoke about being mixed race. What did you make of a comment about not being seen as a black woman until she started dating Prince Harry?
Premeditated is what I'd say. I think the whole thing is all this stuff about how she was treated badly and there was racial slurs against her in Britain. I just don't recognise it. I know that she makes some pretty serious allegations against the media, saying that they used the N-word in one article as well as this podcast. Complete nonsense. I've never heard it. So I don't know where she's getting it all from. I think it's given her a platform. And this latest podcast, look, it was interesting. It's getting exactly the exposure that her bankrollers are wanting. It's getting massive exposure right around the world. But at the same time, it's a little bit fantastical. And the thing that I found quite funny is when Mariah Carey, who's fantastic, I've always liked her work, said she was a diva. I think Meghan was initially affronted and shocked that she was called a diva, but I don't know what else she is.
Yeah, and someone like Mariah Carey, who's known as sort of a big diva herself and sort of self-confessed probably,
but she liked
says
it,
that.
You know, Mariah Carey was saying, look, I'm being diva is, is fantastic, and it was a comment. And Meghan then sort of wasn't sure if she should be affronted or pleased, and I think Mariah Carey talked her into being pleased.
So, Jobbo, you're in amongst the royal media every day, and basically Meghan's attacking them and the royal family every day. What's the word on your street?
Well, do you know, it's getting to the point where I think that some of this stuff is just so nonsensical, so untrue, that there should be some sort of intervention, because, it's fun. Nobody's in these interviews is picking her up on these claims to say where you're getting them from. There's one claim about her children being that there'll be 40, if she'd taken the kids to school in nursery school in the UK, there'll be 40 press outside every day pursuing them. Now, in America, they're believing this scuff, but in truthful, there's rules here set by the press. They're not allowed to do that. It's the IPSO rules. You can't do it. You're not allowed to have people outside the school, and they'd be moved up. And so that isn't true. And there'll be a set one for the first day at school. That'll be it. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming out that I think people in the States are believing, and elsewhere, millions of people. It's just nonsense. And I don't know really why the guys that are interviewing them aren't just saying, well, that's not true. I mean, when we do an interview, we say, really? That doesn't seem to be right. And nobody's picking her up on it.
Yep. Certainly waging a war against the royal family, that's for sure. Nelson Mandela's grandson has come out and criticised her for her comments, which basically compared their wedding to Mandela being freed.
Yeah, because she was saying that she interviewed she met a person from the Lion King show who said that when the royal wedding was on, they were dancing in the streets in South Africa like they were when Mandela was freed. But I mean, really? I mean, I've been to I've seen that prison cell that Nelson Mandela was in for all those years. The comparison is abhorrent, and I think also his grandson said so too, saying it's ridiculous, a ridiculous comparison.
OK, we'll leave it there. Thank you, Jobbo.